Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the MMA game. It's your boy, the notorious Rasta Cam Roget, coming to you live from the studio. But as you know, before we get into it, because today we're going to be recapping UFC 299, I got to introduce you guys to my bro. But I'm going to do a little bit different today because I want to honor two former Eagles that have retired. Jason Kelsey, Fletcher Cox, thank you guys so much. Now that I got that out of the way, to introduce you to my boy, my man, my dude, my brother from another mother, Ryan Cariss. Yo, Cariss, what's the word?
The one and only Cameron Mother Roget. Hey. What's up, my guy?
What's happening?
We are blessed to be in the studio and talk about UFC 299.
Yeah.
And the UFC Fight Night coming up this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I think just unfortunately we're in that phase where 299 was so big, so huge, and trust me, we're going to talk a lot about that. But now it's like it's the down.
Yeah.
Before we get back up for 300. So not saying that this next fight night is not big.
No.
But it's just going to keep it flowing.
Yes, it's a little
flow.
But that's okay. It's not the peak.
Yeah, we ain't going into the trough.
No.
We're coming back up.
No.
But before we get into 299, there's, a lot of events that took place. We had a big combat weekend. So I want to start off with Cedric Doumbé. I don't know if you had a chance to watch that fight.
Did not see that.
So it happened on Thursday. So unfortunately, Mark Goddard was the ref, and they ended up calling the fight.
Oh, is this the one where they stopped it?
Yeah,
and everyone was pissed off at Mark Goddard because he just
his toe.
Yeah, I saw that.
You know what? I fully back Mark Goddard because if you go back and look, Cedric, I don't know what happened, bro. All that hype for a splinter.
For a splinter in your toe, and you just wanted a split-second pause.
Kept looking at the foot.
Yeah.
So you keep looking at the foot. You keep looking at the ref. That's going to make the ref think that something is going wrong. Maybe your toe was broken, and that's why you can't stand and plant.
Right. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know that.
All you have to do is survive, get to the end of the round, and then, hey, corner, I got something in my toe. Take that shit out.
Yeah.
But maybe they run that back. I don't know.
I don't know. They might, but then at the same time, it's like, do they really need to? Do we just need to move on and just chalk it up as a loss?
Yeah,
and that's it.
Nah, but he's big time. He's a big star.
But did you see the small little splinter? The picture that they said? I was like, come on, bro. Reach down and just try to pick it out yourself.
I did. I don't know. I don't know. That one's a little iffy. It's a little, but you know where it's not iffy? In Saudi Arabia, because unfortunately, this is a big unfortunately.
Big time.
Francis Ngannou got brought back to reality, I think.
Yeah. He got brought down from the stars and put back down on earth and said, you're normal. Yeah, you're a person just like the rest of us.
I never it's always, there's a chance it can happen, but I never thought I'd see that man flatline on his back.
No.
Like how he did.
And the way that he dropped and fell back, a little awkward and everything on his foot.
Bro, it was bad.
Yeah.
I was actually at Ari's soccer game watching the fight.
Oh, really?
I screamed like a little bitch when that happened. Because I couldn't believe, I'm just sitting here like, dude, Francis is out.
And he laid there for a second too. He laid there for a minute. I was just shocked he got dropped in round one, like he did, and then he got dropped in round two, and then he got put out in round two. It's like,
yeah. So not. I mean, Dana White was probably happy, smiling.
He was. He was
smiling, knowing that Saturday,
yes,
he is getting all the attention because now Francis is gone. But I do think there's a fight for Francis, and I'm going to say Deontay Wilder. If you want to avenge your loss, give Francis one more chance.
I like that one.
Give him one more chance.
Right? And then if he doesn't do well in that one, unfortunately, go back to the PFL. Sorry.
Yeah. Well,
sorry.
Now it's inevitable. He has to go back.
He almost has to.
Yeah, he has to.
Yeah.
Even though, I mean,
unless
reports.
Deontay.
Yeah, but I still think even with Deontay, he has to go back.
Okay.
I think this one brought him back.
So he's got to build himself back up to that little spot.
I don't even think he could build himself unless he fully commits. Like he's got to fully commit to one or the other. Right now, he's half in, half out. I think, okay, we did the boxing. Now it's time. Come home, Francis. Come home. We will take care of you.
And Pereira's a scary guy that he's got to fight.
That
is not an easy fight for him to come back into the PFL.
Big dude. He's probably licking his chops seeing that knockout.
He probably is. He probably is because he knows that he got knocked out, so therefore he's going to be a little bit loose-headed when he comes into the fight.
Yeah.
He probably has to sit maybe for 6 months. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? We might not see him for a while.
Well.
That sucks.
That happened on Friday. And then Saturday. Why we're here, why we want to talk UFC 299. Now, fireworks from the get-go. To me, the early prelims, it just went.
It was the best.
So well.
That was one of the best parts of the entire night. Was the early prelims,
as Pep would say, so good, so good. Now it was so good because kicking it off, we had a retirement fight. We knew ahead of time that she was going to retire. Joanne Wood.
Yes,
man, that was pretty good. I was happy for her, man.
I was happy for her.
Real happy.
I was.
And
happy.
You know what's crazy? On Embedded, she's very quiet. She's like timid. Seeing her performing in the octagon.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it's
she's not timid in the octagon. Yeah, completely different people. What sucks for me on that one though is that was my pick from the hat for Moras.
So you had Moras.
So therefore I lost.
Who did the fans get again?
The fans got.
Was it Wood?
They did. No, they did get Wood.
Yeah, so they went against you.
I think they did get Wood.
The fans got the win. The fans got the win. It's okay. Both of us did not do good on this card.
Not at all.
It's all right. We'll tap into it a little bit later.
We'll...
Now, I don't want to get into the fight that happened right after this because I'm going to skip one. And I want to go to Robeles de Spain.
Oh, my.
Now, there was a lot of hype on it. We didn't hype him up because we didn't know too much about him.
Didn't even know he was fighting.
Now seeing, oh boy.
And seeing his resume.
Oh boy.
And seeing his knockouts.
Oh boy.
And the fact that he went 19 seconds for his other two fights and he went longer than 19 seconds. And even the judges were like, not the judges, excuse me, the commentators were like, this is the longest fight that he's ever had in his life.
Oh boy. I'm going to keep saying, oh boy, when
Holy
it comes to
shit.
because there's a lot of fights in that heavyweight division that I'm excited to see this guy fight against.
Yeah.
Now, his style, it's a heavyweight version of, watch this, MVP.
Ooh.
It's just a heavyweight version.
It is.
The man can move, bro. Being that big, he can move.
And he's throwing punches on the way back. He threw that left little hand and then caught him with the right on the way back and then stepped back another one and hit him with another one.
But not going to lie, when I saw them both come out, oh boy, Parisian. He looked scared. Like something looked off. Like he didn't look fully in it
because he knew who he was fighting. I think that's why he was like, "Wait, this big guy that I'm coming out. I'm a little bit timid because I've seen his resume.
Watched too much tape.
That's what I'm saying. I saw his resume.
Just focus on the fight, and not watch too much tape, bro. But anyways, we had that, so that's huge. I think he's going to be a big contender coming into that heavyweight. I think right away you could throw him in. You could throw him in there.
Oh yeah. He's got to be on. He's got to be on a pay-per-view next.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, he's on a pay-per-view on this one.
No,
sorry,
but
he's got a pay-per-view again.
Yeah, maybe even I wouldn't be okay with maybe the main on a prelim.
Yeah,
main on the prelim. Build them up.
That's a good one. All right.
So that was a good one. Then after that, we had Michel Pereira coming out with the submission victory in round 1.
What about his walkout?
Amazing. Amazing. I love how the UFC is giving these guys, a little bit of love to do their own thing.
Yeah.
We'll tap in that a little bit later once we talk about the main card. But that was cool. That was cool to see him a little dance. I was worried because I've seen him do that before and get tired in the fight.
And blow his load.
So,
yeah.
Funny you say that.
I did it on purpose. Sorry.
So it's good that he held his load in and he decided to finish it
in round
submission.
1. Yeah.
And then,
sorry, I gotta say, we were talking about this on our last show, saying that Michel Pereira is in the early prelims and he is a main eventer. I would say he's a main card. He can be a main fight. I think he can main fight just by this. You're like, yeah, you're an entertainer, bro. And he knocked his ass out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I still leave him on the prelims.
Okay.
I still leave him just because I don't trust him with the weight.
Oh.
Don't trust him with the weight. That's a big issue.
Ooh.
And we got to make sure that there's consequences for your actions. And the consequence is
early prelims.
You're not able to make weight. Now he won. He made weight. Right. Now we give you prelims.
How would you like to have seen him on the first fight of the night on the main card, though? If this was the main one, no?
I'm good with how 299 went.
Okay.
I'm good with it.
Okay.
I'm good. I will back Dana White in his decisions.
In Dana White, I trust. That's the shirt.
That's the shirt I got to get. Next, in the main event on the early prelims, you had Ian Cutelaba against Felipe Lins. Unanimous decision for Lins. I had Cutelaba. Unfortunately, I didn't get that win. I wanted more from the Hulk, though. With the name like the Hulk, bro, you got to come out and smash it.
He came out in the last 13 seconds and screamed like the Hulk, and that was it.
Yeah, that's too late.
Felipe Lins, dude, peppered his front leg. Just completely destroyed it. And he was trying to act like it didn't hurt him for like 2 rounds, and all of a sudden round 3 you're like, yeah, you can't even move, bro. You can barely even push forward to throw a punch. He's throwing a punch on one leg.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
And then in the prelims, I think for me the prelims really got going in a good direction.
Yeah.
And first and foremost, my man Kyler Phillips. Man. You got a fan, bro. You reeled me in a little bit more than I thought you would have because the performance you put on with that striking, your striking just, to me, it kind of mimicked a little bit of Sean O'Malley. But Just really effective, man.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to be tuning into you and your fights a little bit more heavily.
I'm glad that he was able to keep that pace up in round 2 and round 3, because during round 1, I'm pretty sure most of the community was like, all right, bro, you're going to have to take out Pedro Munoz. This isn't going to be an easy just round 1 and round 2 and round 3. Pedro's going to keep coming at you over and over and over. And I thought, like exactly you said, he kind of went a little bit hard in the beginning to where it was like, oh, you're going to be able to sustain this throughout the next couple of rounds, which he did. And dude, the volume of his strikes and the angles. And
wild, man.
Wow.
You know,
he's leveled up in this fight.
It reminded me a lot of Max's performance against Cater.
Hey, well played.
And not like how the
not
fight
the same
went.
fight,
it's
but just the way that he performed.
Rhythm. The rhythm at which he was striking.
That rhythm and that flow and everything.
Right? That rhythm at which he was striking, just really nice. Something that you could just enjoy, again, just like the main event, and seeing somebody's work. Right?
And there's always a strike coming at the end of it, too. Like, he'd do a kick, and then he's turning his back, and right as he's turning his back, he's still throwing an elbow on the way to where it's like, oh, dude, you're not in a safe spot anytime during this fight.
So unpredictable.
Yeah.
So unpredictable.
So it'll be fun to watch him moving forward.
After that, we had Mateus Gamera against Rafael dos Anjos. And it did not, I didn't think the fight was going to go like this. RDA, for being as old as RDA is, RDA is still that man.
He is.
He still got that beast. Now, good job for Gamera. Get the wrestling control it. Boom. We knew that was going to happen.
Right.
But man, oh man, that performance from RDA, and I know I should be giving a little bit more credit to Gamera, which I am, but it's just I didn't think RDA was going to put on performance like that. What did you think?
No, I was in the same exact boat, because you knew that once RDA got a couple of strikes in, got a couple of kicks in, that Gamera was just going to be like, you know what, I'm going to go to the ground, and I'm going to take you down, and I'm going to hold you here, which was smart.
Yeah.
Like, play your strong game and beat the guy that you know is not going to be able to hang on the ground with you. So I don't blame him at all. I was a little nervous for him because coming off the Fazeev, he had this all hype going up, and then RDA was just going to knock him down and just put him down. And I was fine with it, but we know that Gamrot's going to move forward and potentially do well within the division. And RDA's, I don't want to say on the way out, but kind of.
I look at it. Gotta look at it. Now it's because now it's just, what do you do with Gamrot now? All right. What do you do?
Well, because he went back down in numbers, right? Because he went to Fazeev, who's a higher number than him, and then he dropped down to fight a guy who's number 11 versus a top 10.
I wouldn't be opposed if they ran that back.
Oh, you talking to Fazeev and Gamera?
Yeah.
Sure. Give Fazeev a chance to get back in and be able to fight, because it really wasn't a fight. It was a round 1.
Yeah.
Torn ACL, done. Fight over.
Yeah.
And so therefore Fazeev didn't even really get a fight.
Yeah. It's just, when does he come back? That's the only thing. Haven't really heard much on that front.
I haven't heard anything about it. But plus, you got to think it takes anywhere between 6 and 12 months to come back from a knee injury, depending on how bad it is and how well you can recuperate and do your physical therapy.
See, I would say that's all accurate, but seeing how fast Jamal Hill came back from a fucking Achilles tear. Now I'm like, I don't know. They might come back a little bit early, but who knows? I am not a doctor, and I don't plan to ever be one. Now, and the co-main event on the prelims, as you know, I'm very high on this girl, Macy motherfucking Barber.
Yeah.
Guys, I said it from the get-go.
I know.
The girl, she's special. And Cameron doesn't say that about a lot of fighters. No. She's special. And I think she showed the world how special she is in this last fight against Caitlin Saramanara.
Yeah, I know. You wanted to say Chikagi.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, what'd you think about that fight?
I felt it was a little bit closer than what the judges actually gave it. I thought... how do you say her last name?
Saramanara?
Saramanara. I thought the fight was a little bit closer, and it seemed to be as if Macy kind of like walked away with it a little bit. Kind of.
To me, I just felt like Macy's just levels. And it could have been maybe some areas where it was tighter, but I just feel Macy's just so strong, so powerful. When she connects, you could see the strength. When it went the other way, you don't really see it as much. Now, is there damage? Probably, but I feel like when she hits you, you kind of like, oh fuck, okay,
like, oh geez,
oh shit. And when she was getting hit, it's kind of like, all right,
moving forward.
Right. Yeah. So Macy, I think for sure, you could give her a shot. Give her a shot at the belt.
Ooh, okay. Saramana wanted to make this a nice, clean, and pretty fight, and the future did not. Yeah, she wanted to just get in her face and just be like, "No, we're brawling, we're fighting. I'm throwing elbows, I'm throwing knees." That we
locked in here.
Yeah. So I felt Chito should have done the same thing, but we'll get to that. We will get to that, won't we?
Yeah. And then in the main event, on the prelims, you had Curtis Blades against Jaltin Almeida.
Yes.
And shocked are us.
This is my only win of the night. Pretty much, this is my only one. You're shocked? I wasn't I wasn't so shocked, but at the same time, a little bit.
Well, the first round is exactly how I thought the fight was going to go.
Same here.
I said, okay, if this is how it's going to go, Curtis, he in some problems.
But you saw Curtis's face when he was against the cage multiple times, kind of holding on, just looking at his corner, just kind of relaxed, not really caring too much. Didn't feel like he was in that much of danger.
Well, I rewatched it.
Okay.
And all Curtis did was make sure what he saw, and he told you guys after the fight, make sure what he saw on film was happening.
Yeah.
And if you look in the first round, it happened every single time. Look where he puts his head. And he kept saying, he puts his head down. Now you go to the second round, fast forward a little bit. He puts his head down every time he goes for the takedown.
Puts his belly over it.
Left his head exposed. Yep. And you saw what happened. Fuck, bro.
17 hammer fists.
That's a big, I counted it. That's a big letdown for Jonathan.
It is. It's a huge letdown.
Fuck him up.
Because who's he go to next? If you're beating Curtis Razor Blades, if you're losing to Curtis Razor Blades, well, you just thought of something good.
Yeah. He fought in the prelims, early prelims.
Did he?
Robelis de Spain.
Holy shit.
Give him the shot.
Alton Almeida.
Give him the fucking shot.
Hey,
and if you don't think that one's good, you don't like it, you hear Cameron's fucking talking wildness. You ready? I got another one. Jairzinho Rosenstruck.
Yeah.
Give him that one too.
Okay. But that makes both of those guys like out. Like if the Stain takes out one of those two,
well, it's kind of what we saw in the main event cards, right? There's these young prospects that are coming up.
Sorry, I wanted to say
they're fighting against these guys who are seasoned vets. So now, I mean, stories, right? If the prospect wins, we already know what's going to happen. You can project them to the belt. If the vet wins, it's like, no, this guy's not ready, but the vet is still there. He's still good. We're going to keep him right in this window. So that's why I think those two fights can play out very well. So
the past 2 weeks, I've had written down that I want to talk about like the new wave of fighters, or the new 2024, how it's going to be a little bit different this year. And we've already ran into it a couple different times. And again, we're 31 years into the UFC, right? So therefore, a lot of these fighters that are now coming up, this new wave of fighters that are going to be coming up, have been training and fighting and watching UFC since they've been little kids. So therefore, that level is all of a sudden that new wave of kids is going to be coming in to where the old guys are going to be going out. Right. And you're going to be seeing a bunch of changes within 2024 because you hear it from the commentators being like, oh, this kid's been doing this and that since he's been this age and he won this and he won that. And you're like, holy shit, where are these kids coming from?
It's a sad, like happy moment, though, right?
That's what I'm saying.
You're sad to be seeing the old guard leave, but you're excited to see the new guard come in.
And that new wave of kids coming in like, holy shit, these kids are awesome. They're so good top to bottom, wrestling, grappling, striking, kicking, everything.
My thing is I'm going to use Tony Ferguson, for example, right? Like with Tony, I'm a fan of Tony. I love how Tony fights, but he's on the way out. But there's going to be a new guy that comes in that's going to be very similar to Tony, but better. And to me, that excites me because I think with the UFC and the direction that they're going and being the best promotion for combat sports or mixed martial arts, I should say, that's going to make it so much more juicier when it comes to the fights. And for example, think of MVP against Kevin, which we will dive into in a little bit, because now we are actually going to talk about the main card. So with the main card for opening up, we have Petr Yan against Song Yadong. It goes to unanimous decision for Petr Yan. What were your thoughts as that fight kicked off your night?
So Song Yadong won the first round, right? Let's give him round number one.
I agree.
And all of a sudden, Petr Yan decided to be like, you know what? I'm going to turn on my little switch in round number two and change the entire fight and make it go my direction. He did that in round two and round three. And Song Yadong all of a sudden was just like, holy shit, I didn't know you had this in you. To me, that was the old Petr Yan that came out. And all of a sudden, he's just like, you know what? I'm not losing again. And I know I'm losing right now. And let me do what I need to do in order to be able to win this fight. And that's exactly what he did. I
couldn't agree more with that observation. I'm just going to add a few things. One, Jan's wrestling has fucking improved tremendously from the Aljo fight. I need to give him credit, because in my notes I do have written down that takedown that he executed in the second round. Flawless. I absolutely loved it. Changed the game a little bit.
Any transition on the back or something?
That we weren't, I think, as fans, as maybe the corner for Song Yadong, we're not expecting. And his wrestling has improved. And I think for him to stay where he's at, for him not to drop down in the rankings, he needed to get better there. He's gotten better there. We know what hands that he brings. Excited to see his fight.
And Song Yadong's no slouch on the ground because he fights at Team Alpha Male. And those guys 100%. Are all wrestlers.
100%.
Right? So that's their main base is wrestling. So to be able to do that to Song Yadong, like, well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
I'm just a little, I'm not concerned, but it just, Song is one of my guys, right? He's one of my guys that I've been watching. I sent you a text right after the Jelton Almeida and Curtis Blades. What did I send you?
I don't remember.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Now, since we're pulling up receipts.
I sent him a picture of me and Curtis Blades at the International Fight Week, giving each other a hug. Yep, that was me right there. That's what I sent him after the fight because he was going with Jelton. I was going with Curtis Razor Blades because he's my dude that was following. And then I was going to send you the Song Yadong after Song Yadong won. But no, I didn't get to send you the Song Yadong one because Song Yadong did not win.
Well, you jinxed yourself because you should have never done that. And I think we might have jinxed ourselves in the next fight because we both went with the same guy. Yeah. Gilbert Burns against Jack Madalena. And oh boy.
Yeah.
How'd you score it? We'll start off there. How'd you score it?
I had it 2-1 Madalena.
Yeah.
And because I believe I gave Gilbert Burns round number 1 and gave Jack number 2 and 3. I think I did.
Okay.
What'd you have it as?
I gave Burns 2 and I gave Madalena 1.
Okay. I didn't have much written down because I was literally watching the entire fight, and I didn't want to write too much down. Yeah, I mean, seem to miss some stuff every time that I write something down. So I was like, you know what? On this 299, I'm just gonna watch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just bring everything in and just try to remember all of it. So I might have been wrong on that, but don't matter.
Well,
still lost
from the fight. Madalena his stand-up is pretty good. Yes. He's a very patient and accurate fighter, and I think that played a huge dividend.
Really good boxer.
In him fucking dropping Gilbert as he dropped him because that knee was absolutely vicious. Yeah. I never thought I'd see Gilbert on his back like that.
No.
And Jack, again, the new guard coming in.
Yep.
New guard coming in.
Old guard going out.
Old guard's coming out. And unfortunately, I think this is a good move because I think Jack brings a lot to that division, that welterweight division. I think there's a lot of fights there that you could put Jack in that it's going to be very exciting, super exciting. I mean, just to throw up the top of my head, look at Colby against him. Look at fucking Kamaru Usman against. Like, there's so many good fights that can take place now that he's gone over the hump, which is Gilbert Burns.
And JDM's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu too, so he's no slouch on the ground, and he's got really good hands. So it's like, wait, pick your poison a little bit, because as you can see, Gilbert Burns had him on the ground. He was dominating for a little while. I don't want to say maybe dominating, but he was in a dominant position. Right. Let me just say it like that. He was in a dominant position, and then Jack was able to get out of it to be able to move somewhere else and do some stuff. And you're like, holy shit, I thought Gilbert Burns was just going to be able to kind of not walk through him, but kind of walk through him on the ground because he's such a high level of jiu-jitsu.
So
right? That's where I thought the game was going to be over.
100%. And you know what? I just thought of this fight too. What about Ian Gary against Jack? I mean, that's two prospects. You probably don't want them to fight against each other. Because you don't want
one to be gone and one to be
striking you would get in that.
So that's going to maybe when they get to the top 5. Right, that'd be a good one for top 5.
To be honest, top 10 that could be a title fight.
Could be
in the future.
It could be
in the future.
That's why I say top 5 is going to be in there.
One would hold the belt, the other's coming in to try and take it.
Still going with Jack. JDM.
Yeah, Jack's real good. Jack is gained a fan.
Not going with Ian.
Now, in between those two fights, we had a promo that dropped. Didn't sure if you guys had a chance to see it.
Yes, we did.
UFC 300 had a drop. And man, I thought from the video, it was so sick. It pulled me in. As much as it let me down, I still think 299 is going to be better than 300.
I think so too.
Who knows? It could change after we watch it. But what I did see, and I absolutely loved it, is at the very end when we see Poatang yelling, and then they drop UFC 300 because I think we all know Pereira is going to win that.
Oh yeah,
he's going to win.
I think so too. Hey, that's by the way, that's the first time this guy said that about Pereira beating Jamal. Yeah. He was kind of on the fence there, but now you're on that side.
Yeah, I'm going full Poatang.
Okay,
and also UFC 300, they have added one fight. And the one fight they added is going to be Renato Moicano against Jalen Turner, who your boy got to meet.
All right, Clay, I'm going to ask you who you going for on that one, because you were just talking about Money Moicano on the last time, being like, Money Moicano. But then again, it's kind of hard to go against somebody that you actually met, took pictures with, were nice with, right? And that's why I sent you those stuff about the guys that I was with. It's like, it's kind of hard when you meet somebody and they were polite and kind and respectful and everything. And
I think the big thing is you sometimes just got to take your heart out of it, and that's hard for I think a lot of people, right?
It's hard to do.
I think everybody knows if Connor's fighting, no matter who it is, and even if I like the other guy, I got to back Connor. So in this fight, I'm gonna not bet with my heart. I'm gonna go full on who I think is gonna win, and it is going to be Renato Moicano. That's where I'm going.
I'm just gonna go Jalen Turner, just to throw in your face if he actually wins. That's even though Money Moicano might most likely win that
and
fight.
I think it's going to be so
because he's going to take it down. You know, McConnell's going to take that to the ground and just choke out.
Hey,
yeah,
he's gotten smarter. Remember his last fight? He's gotten smarter.
I know.
And then we had the introduction that did not need to be introduced. It was the debut of MVP against Kevin Holland. Now, leading up to this fight, nervous? I was.
Yeah.
100%.
I think most fans were.
I didn't expect. I know MVP's an entertainer. Again, I've seen him in Bellator. I know it. I did not expect that walkout. When he did the walkout, in my head, I'm like, "Fuck! I picked the wrong guy. I picked the wrong guy." Because, then I started remembering. Oh shit! MVP's done this. He's done this. Remember the striking,
right? Remember those walk-offs?
Kevin Holland kind of crumbles in big moments. I remember that last second. And I'm saying that because Stephen Thompson. I should have fucking remembered.
That was my first thought.
Stephen Thompson fights very similar, now that you guys have seen it, to MVP. And Kevin struggled with that. Look how many times MVP caught him with that little looping overhand.
And the little dance in his overhand.
And that was landing consistently.
Almost every time.
Consistently. Yeah. And Kevin, unfortunately, couldn't adjust, hoping that he'd brought the ground game in, which we got to see.
For a second.
And Kevin dominated there.
Yep.
Did look real good.
Yep.
There's a moment of panic. If the camera zooms in on MVP's eyes, and you can see there's a little panic, but then he finds a way to get out.
Yeah.
Really wish Kevin would have stayed more on the ground. Yeah. But MVP, you have arrived. MVP. Man, I'm so happy you're here.
Same here.
Hey, I'm happy you're here. I'm happy that people got to see exactly how good you are, because he's going to be a big contender.
It was a little disappointing because we are big fans of Kevin Holland, and this hurt my feelings a little bit. This hurt my heart on this one when Kevin was just getting beat, and he kept throwing that overhand looping right, and it was just he was throwing wind. He was a fan pretty much the entire time, just throwing wind at this guy, not being able to catch him. And I was very disappointed to be able to see it, because you saw his frustration.
He did it right when he tried to mimic.
When he did at the end in
MVP,
round 3, and when he danced on the outside.
And the thing is, it's like MVP is a hard puzzle to beat.
Yeah.
Like he's hard to figure out, just because he has his hands down, he's standing awkward, he's herky-jerky, he's coming in at weird moments. Like, it's hard to read, and maybe Kevin just wasn't the guy for that fight.
It could be. I don't know how many people are the guy for MVP.
Right.
Like his style, like just that in and out, that dancing. Like, is he going to kick you? Is he going to strike you? Is he going to axe kick you? What's he going to do? Is he going to wheel spin? I don't know.
Yeah.
There's so many options that he has that it's very entertaining.
It's going to be interesting to see what the UFC even decides to do with him now, because I think on their behalf, they're like, well, we can't give the guy a grappler.
No. No.
But we could.
Well, they kind of just did, because Kevin Holland's a black belt.
Yeah, but we know Kevin for the knockouts.
That's true.
We know Kevin for the knockout. He's not like a legit like.
He's not a ground guy.
Yeah,
not 100%. He's more of a striker.
All his fights, like Khabib did, just hold you down and fucking. Let me stop.
Get one in there, huh?
But yeah, I mean, MVP, he's arrived. I'm not happy with Dana's comments at the end, though.
No, you told me about that. And I'm like, wait, why?
Did not like the whole introduction MVP. I get it. My side is, bro, you guys didn't promote the guy the right way in the first place. His name should have been plastered the moment he decided to come to the UFC. Should have been everywhere. He didn't get that. This was his moment. The fans kind of know who he is now. This is what the fans expect now when they see him. You can't just not let him do it.
I don't get it for Dana White, considering, wait, you're letting Izzy walk out with an urn and a hat on and being able to do these type of things, and you're letting him dance and do this and do that, but you're not allowing MVP to just walk out with a black hood on and then takes it off before he even walks out to his song that he's allowed to choose. Like, what was wrong with it?
The only thing I would say is Izzy at that time was a champion.
Valid.
Izzy time was the last fight on the card. He wasn't leading into the co-main.
True.
That's the only time-wise, if you want to look at that, maybe. I don't know.
Well, Michel Pereira had a little dance before his. That was longer than what this was.
Very true.
And he had his cornerman do it with him.
Very
true.
So
what was different? What was the problem with it?
Michel Pereira has been in the UFC longer.
That's true. And MVP,
but MVP's on the main card. So there's so many. Yeah, who knows? Only Dana does. Only Dana. But like I said earlier, in Dana I trust. Did you give any rounds to Kevin, by the way?
No.
Yeah, me either.
I don't know how I don't know how one judge gave it 29-28. I was like, wait, what round did you give him?
Yeah, I had 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. What? Huh?
1, 2, 3 MVP.
Right. And that's not hating either. That's just this is our guy, and I'm saying, wait, what round did you give him?
And I watched it again just to make sure I was doing the right thing. Yeah, no. 1, 2, 3 MVP. MVP. And in the co-main, oh man, yeah, Benoit Saint-Denis against Dustin Poirier, the two Frenchmen battling it out.
Louisiana Frenchman.
Shout out to Connor.
I know.
So, leading into that fight, how were you?
I wish we had kind of said in our other show the one disclaimer that I kind of had during this week, which was the one way that Dustin Poirier is going to be able to catch him is exactly how it ended right then and there, meaning that Dustin has very good hands. We know this. It's been proven. You've seen it. He's done it multiple times. This was his 30th fight within the UFC. And the one way that potentially he's going to be able to take this out is he's going to be able to crack him and knock him out, kind of like he did with Conor, unfortunately. I got to use that as an example because that was the same right hand that caught him and put him down. And then he was able to get on top of him and just throw that hand and just smash him out and game over. Yeah, I'm not as happy as you are, bro. Trust me. That didn't feel good at all. I didn't win any of these in the main card. I didn't win
it was
one.
Rough. Only one.
I didn't win. I won 0. So to be able to say that about Dustin Poirier, knowing like, yeah, that hurt. Like it did. And that was my feeling throughout the week, being like, bro, sorry, but this is the one way that he's going to get caught. And it's exactly how it happened.
Yeah, my phone has been blowing up.
Oh, really?
Dustin pulled off the victory. Certain people making comments and wanting to hear my feedback.
Say it to him right now. Go ahead.
And I am. And for all the people that text me, this is your moment to fucking record this. And I'm going to say this once and one time fucking only.
Mm-hmm.
Dustin Poirier is fucking legit.
Yes.
He is a very good fighter. The longer it goes, the scarier it gets.
Yep.
I was worried going into the second round because Benoit needed to end it in the first round.
He did.
I gave the first round to Benoit. I thought Benoit dominated that. I thought he was giving some real problems to Dustin, but he needed to continue and not get caught. Again, I know his corner was saying stay away from the guillotine, but the guillotine was fucking there.
Yeah, and the guillotine was in a spot that he could catch him.
Every single time it was there.
It's just Benoit was able to get out of it. That was the only thing. That was it. He was able to fight it and pull it off.
But there's a switch that turns on when Dustin fights, and I've seen it in the McGregor fight twice now, and now I've seen it now, and I think like Dustin,
he starts pulling on his pants. That's what it is. That's his little switch.
Dustin's legit, man. I don't think I give this guy enough credit. Dustin is legit. He is legit. Am I a fan of Dustin? No. I'm not a fan, but I put respect on that man's name, and I'll give respect when respect is due, and he's earned my respect now.
Good.
So I will stop shit talking on Dustin's name. Today is the last day.
Against Conor, though, you will talk shit. So it's okay.
They'll never
reserve
fight.
That.
They'll never fight again.
I know.
So,
but if they're going to talk back and forth, you're going to be easily saying something.
Yeah, I mean, it was good to see two Frenchmen get in a fight. Now, one thing that does disappoint me a little bit, and this came out after the fact, Benoit did make a post to all his fans saying that he did have staph infection. Indeed, if you were able to see embedded, if you were able to see pictures of that week, he did have a cut right here on his forehead and a staph, and he blamed the antibiotics in his body and whatnot. Now it sucks because I think any other year I'm telling him, hey, I'm yelling, don't fucking take the fight, bro.
Right.
Don't take it.
If you're injured like that, you have that infection, don't take the fight. Just call it off.
There's so much in play here.
He had to.
He had to do it.
It was smart of him to take the fight. Let's just be honest. Like he got so many eyeballs on him now just because of that his future is going to be that much brighter and better because he took this fight.
Yeah, so I just hope that he's able to stay within the rankings and hopefully he gets another shot. Because I would, again, there's so many fun fights I think for him. One of them is Gaethje. I think Gaethje and him, if Gaethje's able to keep the BMF belt, that would be fucking cool.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't, because that means Max would lose.
Even Benoit against Conor, like I wouldn't mind that either. Just because, like, you have that little military background from Benoit. He has really, really good stand-up. His jiu-jitsu is not bad either. I think that'd be a good test for Conor. And we both know Conor's a sniper from the outside, so he could always catch him. But it's a bummer. I was really bummed. After this fight going into the main event, I was really, really bummed. But shout out to Dustin for getting the win.
I don't think it lowered his stock, Benoit, meaning that for his loss. Because exactly what you said, he won round number 1. He proved that he can be with the top guys, except for the fact that Dustin Poirier has better hands.
Yeah,
he's that good.
Yeah.
He is. I know it hurts you to admit this, but
no, hey.
I know, but sometimes you just gotta. It comes with reality, dude.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
I will give respect when respect is due, and Dustin has fucking earned my. Don't bet though that I'll be wearing a Dustin shirt in this next fight. That ain't gonna happen.
No, you're still rooting against him.
Yeah,
I know that.
No. I think now I'd go in his if he's fighting against somebody who I have no ties to. I'd go his way.
Okay.
Yeah, you earn my respect.
Good to know.
Earn my respect.
Good to know.
Beat my guy twice.
Both your guys. Yeah.
Now,
into
the main event and why everybody was tuning in.
This fight.
Suga Sean O'Malley against Chito Vera. And no, there is no and new in this one because it was a 5-0 fucking sweep.
5-0
sweep.
Somebody gave him 4-1. I was like, wait, who gave that 4-1? Which round did you give him?
Man, Chito. I think everybody knows Chito starts slow.
Yeah, we said it on our early show, saying like the first 2 rounds is going to start slow, and then 3, 4, and 5 is going to potentially build up.
And I was trying to find ways to kind of blame it on that, but I can't. No. I can't do that.
No.
And I'm really gonna dive into this fight.
Yeah.
2 things. It's been said they get 30% better when they are champion.
Yes.
I have now agreed with that statement. I think it's true for anybody that has won the belt. They do get 30%
That confidence level just goes up.
But I think a lot of people need to give the UFC credit when it comes to Sean O'Malley. This is like what we would say in soccer development. A club keeps you within the club for a couple of years.
Right.
They develop you, and either you make the first team or you get sold.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very, very well done job by the UFC of developing Sean O'Malley.
Yeah.
I think from the fights that maybe they gave him earlier, who pundits and the media would say are easy fights, gimmick fights. I don't think that was the case. I think the UFC was taking their time in building in somebody that they saw the talent, they saw what he could produce and bring, and they gave it to him. Now, was there a stumble in the road? Yes, but I think that stumble in the road came at the right time, and hear me out. It came at the right time because it came against this guy that you've now seen Sean beat, who was Chito Vera. In that fight, you could see where he had a lot of weaknesses. He was still very green, Sean O'Malley, right?
Yeah.
But
in his first fight, you're talking, right?
Against Chito, yeah. And that's good. That's good to have because now he has time to fix those problems and move on, which he did. UFC timed it perfectly and perfectly. They build him up. They gave him a hard fight to see how he'd do with that. He got through Jan, right? Goes through that. Now he gets a title shot, wins the title. Now we're kind of seeing this flower flourish, and he's blooming now. He's fucking blooming. And it's something it's really beautiful to see because his striking in that fight, his control in that fight, to me, it's almost Bruce Lee-esque. Like it was so methodical, it was good. I couldn't find a moment where I'm like, fuck, dude, Sean's in a bad spot.
Right?
No, not at all.
His distance management was excellent the entire fight.
Incredible. So I do want to give Sean 100% of the credit, but I do think the UFC does need credit because they do take a lot of shit from people giving them, hey, this is a gimmick fight, all that bullshit. Nah, they developed this young athlete to where he's at now, and I think Sean's going to be there for a very long fucking time.
Okay.
Done.
All right. I don't want to go negative, but I kind of want to go negative because it seemed like the UFC wanted to say that this 299 was all because of Sean O'Malley. It was all because of Sean O'Malley. And in the pre-fight press conference, when they were obviously they were in Florida, but did you watch the pre-fight at all?
Yeah.
Okay. There's some people, if you watch the pre-fight, there were more fans for Chito within the pre-fight press conference than there were in the actual main fight, right? It seemed like the crowd was a pro-USA crowd, which was more for O'Malley, but it seemed like the pre-fight, it was more for Chito. So Chito was such a huge star that during this one, and you also had Dustin Poirier on the card, so therefore more eyeballs are going to go to Dustin. Not taking anything away from Sean, but it seemed like a little bit that they were putting everything towards him when it was actually just the entire card itself was huge. Would you agree with that, or would you potentially disagree?
Probably a little bit of both.
Right.
Agree and disagree. I think at the end of the day, like if you're in the main event,
the main
card, like the show is kind of built for you.
True.
Do I think there's other people on the main card that help? Yeah, I think one having like MVP
and Dustin
on there is huge. Yes, having Dustin on there is big,
right?
Especially for the fight that Dustin was in. Right, again, new guard, old guard coming in. Right. So a big storyline, but I think the big storyline is just the history that Chito and O'Malley have, and I think that's probably the biggest selling point that you can kind of go off of.
Yes,
that was at a time when everybody was tuning in because that was during no fans, right? So I think a lot of the MMA community got to see that fight against Chito, and now we're eagerly waiting to see how does this rematch take place. Right. So maybe that's why Sean got a little bit of the edge. Now, I agree with you. In that press conference, I was shocked on how much of the Latin American fans were in attendance.
Right. And
but
how
then
many
I'm like,
questions
hey,
they were asking?
I'm an idiot.
We're in Florida.
It's in Florida. It's in Miami. So of course Chito's gonna have that, right, and lose a lot of the American fans for O'Malley. So looking at it, yeah, I agree and disagree with some, but I would say Sean did a good job of fucking.
I was gonna say I was gonna finish with that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna finish with a good thing, being like, and Sean did what he needed to do during this fight to show his skills and show that he is that much better than Chito Vera, right? I didn't realize that, dude. It's been 3.5 years since they fought.
Yeah, bro.
And in 3.5 years, Sean's gonna just level and level and level up,
well,
and then and then win the belt, and that's 30% more right there. It's like, wow, okay, yeah, no wonder why you are that good. Like he did very well,
way above Chito.
Oh, and Chito
hasn't
Chito hadn't leveled all that much.
No,
that kind of scared me a little bit.
And Chito, boy, Chito's going to be on a rough road right now. I don't think he's ever going to get another title shot.
No,
there's nobody.
He was given this one by Sean.
Yeah. I mean, Sean gave him a gift.
Yeah,
he gave him a gift,
and he said it.
He didn't fucking.
He's
deliver.
like, the only reason why I want this fight is because I lost to you. So I want to prove to everyone that I shouldn't have lost. And then here's your proof right now. I just pieced you up for 5 rounds.
I'm starting to learn, like, a man on a mission is a scary thing.
He's a scary guy.
It's a scary thing. Whenever you meet a man and he has his mind set and he's on a mission, that's a scary thing.
McGregor.
Connor, Sean. There's so many athletes you could put that with. But
Pereira, the Brazilian Terminator.
Oh, man. Scary. Now, do you like his call out?
Who? Sean's when he called out Ilia Topuria?
Yeah.
Yes and no. Yes, because let's just be honest. The UFC's an entertaining company, right? They're in it for the entertainment. They're not just for the fights. Yes, they are for the fights, but at the same time, there's got to be entertainment with it. So therefore, just those two big stars together would be good for the entertainment. But on the flip side of it, being like saying the no side of it, I'm going to say no because there's so many fights within the 135-pound division that Sean needs to get through before he needs to move weight classes.
Do you think Ilia has to make his first title defense first before even entertaining a Sean O'Malley fight?
Ilia doesn't, I don't think. I think that Sean would have to, but Ilia, I don't think so because he just beat Volkanovski, who is the greatest 145-pound guy to ever do it, right? Now, if you wanted to give Ilia somebody, I would obviously going to say Max West Holloway, right? That seems to be the best.
I think everybody agrees, though. The UFC kind of dropped the ball there with doing the BMF title with Max. Like, I think it would have been dope. And I think Max would have been game to go to Spain.
Yeah. And just make it that big of a card. Yeah.
Right? He would have been game to go.
Yeah.
I think.
Why not?
Who knows?
Right. So that's why I feel that it was good and it was bad at the same point, right? But yes, it was more of a positive than it was a negative.
Yeah. I agree. Now, looking back at, I guess I kind of want to focus on Chito. Where does he go from here?
That's the scariest part about this because I only saw him winning. So it's like, okay, who you're winning next? Then you're going to get Merab. But now that you lost, who's within the top 5 that we potentially match him up with? Because he's got to fight somebody to retain that top 5.
No, I think he drops even lower than that, though. I think I think we're going to see with Chito an old guard against new guard fight for him coming up in that weight division. Now Merab, I agree, Merab definitely needs to get his title shot. It's just weird to me that Sean's not really calling him out. Like, he mentioned his name, but he's not really like calling him out.
No, he's like, I'd rather do Ilia, and if you give me Merab, okay, we'll do Merab. It's more of like, all right, whatever.
Yeah,
I think he's scared of the ground game.
Scared. Or
maybe not scared. I should use a different word. He's timid about the ground game, and it's not the best and the greatest fight for him because he's got to change his game in order to be able to ground, and he wants to stay on his feet. So therefore, he'd probably prefer somebody that's going to be able to exchange and bang with him.
The only thing I could see Merab maybe trying to stand on him is because he has that gas tank. And just okay, you want to stay on the feet? We could go. But knowing in the back of his head is if I start getting pieced up, I could take him down.
I could take you down easy.
Yeah, and now we go from there.
And pull you across the cage and put you next to my corner and and have my way with you.
I don't know if he's going to do that to O'Malley. I don't know. O'Malley's different right now, bro.
True.
O'Malley is different. You get close to them hands, you're going to put to sleep. Just saying, Aljo.
You will. Aljo. Ooh, little blow.
But yeah, that was $299, man. Oof.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. It was good. Happy. Now looking forward to 300. But before we get into 300, we do have a fight night.
We do.
So, oh no. Just what?
You lost all your stuff?
My UFC app just... Oh, there it is. Got it back.
Hey.
Now, in the early prelims... Just prelims. Okay. My fault. Just prelims. I'm going to name off some of the fighters so we can pull out of the hat. So the first fight on the prelims in the men's bantamweight division is going to be Chavalampopoulos Grigoriou against Chad. Oh, my goodness.
Sorry, I'm not supposed to laugh as you do this.
Anna Liger.
What?
Next fight after that. I like her. Jacqueline Amarim against Corey McKenna.
No, I said the same thing. I like her.
Mm-hmm. And the next fight after that, in the men's lightweight division, we have Josh Culibao against Danny Silva. After that, we have Rafael Filho against Ode Osborne. That's going to be Cam's pick for your prelim fight to check out. That's going to be it.
Ode.
Yep. Supporting Ode in that one. Even though that's going to be a tough fight.
It is going to be a tough fight for him.
Legit.
He is.
In the co-main on the prelims, you have Josine Nunez against Chelsea Chandler. No relation to Michael Chandler.
Nope. And no relation to Amanda Nunez either.
That'd be cool if it was.
It would.
And then in the main event, we have Nathan Levy against Mike Davis. Now, in the main card.
Wait, we got to pick from the hat. You got to pick from the hat.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Got to pick from the hat. Is it your pick or my pick?
Why don't you go first since the fans dropped you? Actually, I'll pick for the fans.
Go ahead. You want fans first?
Yeah, I got fans.
All right, what do we got?
Ooh, fans. You guys got a good one. You guys got Filho.
Oh, they got him against our
boy, against Ode. So that should be a good one.
I got Levy.
Who's Levy? Ooh,
I get the main
Levy.
Card?
That's the main card.
Yes, I get the main event.
And
the preliminary card.
I get this
I want you the main event.
I hope I get this one, but I did not because I got McKenna, who's going against my girl, Jacqueline.
Sorry.
Jacqueline.
Yeah, I like her.
Well, hopefully Jacqueline still gets it done. Anyways, in the main event, or main card, I should say, kicking it off for us, we have Gerald Mershart against Brian Barberena. That's a good way to start off that is.
By the way, when we were doing these stats, they were actually on the prelims. They were the first fight on the preliminary card on this, and now they're the first fight on the main card. So I don't have stats on that one, or I don't have stats on the next one for Macy Kiesen.
Okay, so in the next one after that, we have... actually, before we even do that, who do you got in that fight?
I'm going Bam Bam.
Yes, I agree.
I'm going Bam Bam.
I'm going Bam Bam as well. After that, we have Macy Chiasson against Panine Kenzad.
I'm going Chiasson just because I only know Chiasson. I don't know the other girl.
Okay, fine. I'll go Panine.
All right, cool.
Sounds like she's French. She lost her last fight, though. Both of them lost their last fight.
Okay.
In case you guys want a little bit of stats there.
Okay.
All right. Next, after that, we have Christian Rodriguez against Isaac Bulgarian.
Christian Rodriguez. This is the guy that fought Rosas Jr. and beat Rosas. This is Rosas's one fight that he lost against this guy. This actually was on the prelims also. And one of the other fights actually got canceled from that, which was Thiago Moises and Brad Riddell was on the main card, and they got canceled because, I don't know, somebody got injured. But therefore, this fight got put on the main card.
Okay. Who you got in that one?
I'm going with Chris Gutierrez.
Okay.
Excuse me, Christian Rodriguez. Yeah, sorry, that's who you know I was saying.
Yeah. I will go with him as well, even though he's going against an undefeated Isaac. So that could be...
really?
Yeah.
Just go opposite of me just for fun.
One.
Just so you can say I told you so.
Okay. Bet. Fine. I'll go Isaac.
Okay.
I will go Isaac.
Undefeated?
Yeah. 6-0.
Okay.
6-0. He won his last fight by TKO.
And Christian Rodriguez is 10-1.
10-1.
Yeah.
He's on a 3-fight winning streak. That could be huge going into this one.
Yeah.
Okay. After that, in the men's light heavyweight division, we have Ovince St. Preux against Kennedy Njoku.
Oof. In the light heavyweight division of 205 pounds from Haiti, UFC's light heavyweight OSP, Ovince St. Preux. He's 40 years old. He stands at 6'3", and his fighting style is MMA. His professional record is 26 victories with 17 defeats. He's got 12 wins by KO, 8 wins by submission, and 14 first-round finishes. OSP has 26 UFC fights, 14 victories with 12 defeats. He's coming off of KO, a loss, round number 1 to Felipe Lins, who just fought this weekend. He lost to him back in February of 2023. Some fun facts about OSP was he did fight in Strike Force. Yeah, that's throwing it back. He had 7 fights in Strike Force, 6 victories with 1 defeat. He's got a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt, and he's got a degree in sociology from the University of Tennessee. Well done, OSP. From Nigeria, Kennedy Njikui. The African Savage is 31 years old, stands at 6'5", and his fighting style is wrestling. Kennedy has a professional record of 12 victories with 4 defeats. He's got 8 wins by KO. He's got 2 first-round finishes. Kennedy has 10 UFC fights, 6 victories with 4 defeats. He's coming off of a TKO loss, round number 1 to Dustin Jacoby back in August of 2023. Some fun facts about Kennedy is he was on Dana White's Contender Series Season 2, where he was the winner back in 2018. He's also coming off of Dana White Contender Series Season 1, where he was a winner, split decision back in 2017. This was his story. We talked about this.
Yeah.
He stopped going to college because his mom has Lou Gehrig's disease and his brother has Alzheimer's. So he had to stop going to college in order to be able to get 2 jobs. His 2 jobs was he was a bouncer and he was a cook during those times. His nickname was from his forefathers because they were hunters, and so therefore he took on the African Savage. And I am going with, who are you going with? Let me ask you first, because you always set me up. Okay, thank you. I'm going with Kennedy too. I'm going Kennedy too.
Yeah, I haven't been a fan since
OSP
since he fought John Jones.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, Jones took his soul from him, which he does for every single person that he fights. So I'm not surprised that, but he's 40 years old, bro. He's going out the door anyway. So not surprised that African Savage should be able to win this.
All right.
We'll see. We'll see.
After that, in your co-main on the main card, we have Brian Battle against Ange Loosa.
Oh, in the welterweight division of 170 pounds from USA, Brian Battle. His nickname is Pooh Bear. He's 20 years old, stands at 6'1", and his fighting style is freestyle. Brian has a professional record of 11 victories with 2 defeats, 3 wins by KO, 6 wins by submission, and he has 3 first-round finishes. Battle has 6 UFC fights, 5 victories with 1 defeat. He's coming off of a winner submission round number 2. Rear naked choke over AJ Fletcher back in September of 2023. Some fun facts. He's coming off of tough 29 from Team Volkanovski. That must have been nice. Winner back in August of 2021 for the middleweight division. From Congo, Angie, the last ninja, Loosa, is 30 years old, stands at 5'10", and his fighting style is a kickboxer. Loosa's professional record is 10 victories with 3 defeats. He's got 5 wins by KO and 1 win by submission with 6 first-round finishes. Loosa has 3 UFC fights, 2 wins and 1 loss. He's coming off of a winner decision. Fun facts, he came off Dana White Contender Series Season 5, where he lost back in September of 2021 to guess who? To Jack Della Madalena.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, didn't know that. Had to write that one down. I am going with Pooh Bear Brian Battle.
Oh, wow. I'm going to Ange Loosa.
I know. I had a feeling that you were going to. I don't know why I want to go with Battle on this one. I don't know why. I just decided I'm going to go with Battle.
It's not a bad choice. Battle, I mean, he's pretty good. But I just feel like Loosa might knock his ass out.
You like his Last Ninja?
I like the Last Ninja, and I like the fact that he's a kickboxer. I do like that. I do.
And Brian's a freestyle, so we'll see.
Watch it. Watch those kicks. In the main event, we have everybody's favorite Shui Tuivasa against Marcin Tybura.
Ooh, in the heavyweight division of 265 pounds from Australia, the number 9 ranked UFC heavyweight in the world, Ty Bam Bam Tuivasa, is the favorite in this fight at -125. He's 30 years old. Yeah. Yeah, I know. He's 30 years old, stands at 6'2", and his fighting style is a striker. Ty has a professional record of 15 victories with 6 defeats. He has 14 wins by KO, 12 first-round finishes. Ty has 14 UFC fights, 8 victories with 6 defeats. Ty is coming off of a submission loss, round number 2, to Alexander Volkov back in September of 2023 by an Ezekiel choke. Yeah. Some honorable mentions for Tai Tuivasa was he's fought Augusta Sakai. He's fought Sergey Pavlovich, Cyril Gahn, Derek Lewis, Greg Hardy, Stefan Struve, and Sergey Spivak. Yeah, a couple big names there.
Big names.
And JDS, Junior Dos Santos, which he lost. Some fun facts about Bam Bam is he's got 5 victories in 49 seconds or less. He's also a social worker, which he works with the elderly, disabled, indigenous people from Australia. Interesting. From Poland, the UFC's number 10 ranked heavyweight in the world, Marcin Tybura is the underdog of this fight at plus 105. He's 30 years old, stands at 6'3", and his fighting style is MMA. Tybus, his professional record is 24 victories with 8 defeats. He's got 9 wins by KO, 6 wins by submission, and 10 first-round finishes. Tybura is coming off of a TKO loss, round number 1, to the current UFC interim heavyweight champion of the world, Tom the Brit Aspinall, back in July of 2023. That was
dope.
That was dope.
That was a sick knockout.
That was a good little fight. Some honorable mentions was he's fought Alexander Volkov. He's fought Walt Harris, Greg Hardy, Ben Rothwell, Sergey Spivak, Augusto Sakai, Stefan Struve, Derek Lewis, Fabricio Verdum, Andrei Arlovsky. Jeez. Yeah, that's a list of people right there. Some fun facts is he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. And his previous job was he worked at a bar, just like almost every other one. He's a builder, and he was a farmer back in the day.
Okay.
I'm kind of going with my heart on this one, but not really, because Bam Bam, Tuivasa.
Yeah, I'm going with both Bam Bams this card. Definitely going to Tuivasa. There's no way I can go against that man. Still waiting to do a shoey. Don't know. I got to get really drunk.
I know. It might be one of these shows. Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah. As long as it's not a soccer cleat, I'm good.
One of the plastic ones too that smell like cat piss. You know that smell. You know what I'm talking about.
Anything else you want to add?
It was a good day. It was a good little set of fights this past weekend. Hopefully we had a good set of fights this next couple weeks before we wait for UFC 300 to come out.
Yeah, I think the countdown is on. So with that being said, the MMA game is out.
See you in Vegas
at the Apex.
Woo!